Hi, my name is Brandon, and today I'm going to show you how to set up an Avaya 9608 IP phone.
When configuring your IP office for use with an IP phone, there are a few prerequisites that should be checked. First, select the System section on the left. Then click on either the LAN 1 or LAN 2 tab, depending on which port the IP phone is configured to connect. Select the VoIP tab and ensure the H.323 gatekeeper option is enabled. This will configure the phone system to allow IP phones to register. Next, connect to your phone system using the System Status application, click the Resources section on the left, and ensure there are sufficient VCM channels on your system. Finally, ensure there are sufficient Avaya IP endpoint licenses by clicking on the plus icon beside Resources and selecting Licenses. The total number of licenses available and in use will be shown. To configure the IP office for a new IP phone, select the Users section on the left, click on the Create a New Record icon at the top right, and select User. Enter any relevant information for this user, such as name and extension number. Also, make sure that this user has a login code set by clicking on the Telephony Supervisor Settings tab. This login code will be needed to log in the extension on the IP phone. Once the user is added, the Manager program will ask if you would like to create an extension for this user. Select the H.323 extension type and click OK. This will add a new H.323 or IP extension for this user. If configuring an IP phone for an existing user, click on the Extensions section on the left, click on the Create a New Record icon at the top right, and select H.323 extension. In the Base Extension field, enter the extension number of the existing user.
This is a 9508 phone. You'll notice that it has 8 buttons on the side. This is how you know it's a 9608 phone. During the boot up process of an IP phone, you'll notice the Avaya splash screen on the front and a progress bar at the bottom. To program your IP phone, you have to pay attention to this boot up process, because at some point it will flash a certain button that you'll need to push in order to program the phone. During the boot up process, the phone will display press start to program. Once you press start, it's going to ask you to enter a code. The code is CRAFT, which spells craft. Once you've entered it, push the pound key to enter the menu. This will give you a bunch of options on the screen. You will need to scroll down to a section that says ADDR, which is short for address, and press the start key. Notice that there are many different configurable sections on the phone, such as IP address, call server, and router. Depending on the network setup, depends on what information needs to be put in here. If these phones are planning on using what is known as DHCP, or getting its IP address from another device on the network, these phone IP addresses need to be set to 0000. Otherwise, if the phone is using an IP address, you will need to select that particular field and press the Change button. Once you enter the Change button, it will ask you to enter the new address. Simply put in the static IP address using the keys on the phone. To put in a dot, you push the start key. Once finished, there'll be a Save button on the screen. Press Save to store that value. If you've made a mistake and need to change it again, you can go back in, add everything you need, press Save, and it'll take that. The call server address is the IP address of your phone system. This is very important. You'd get this information from your network provider or from your phone system provider. The router would be the default gateway for the phone. Again, if you're using DHCP, this value can remain at 0. Otherwise, you will need to populate this with a proper default gateway. Subnet mask, same thing was with the router. If it's DHCP, you don't need to worry about it. Otherwise, put in the proper value. HTTP server and HTTPS server. These are the servers on which the phone grabs its files from, or its configuration files. These need to be the same IP address as the phone system, unless using a different server to retrieve these files. One of these should be populated with the address. If using VLANs for the phones, you can populate the VLAN ID here as well. Once all changes have been made, press the back button to save, and press the exit key again to restart. This will take the new values of the phone, and the phone should come up and register with the system. If the phone is configured correctly, the screen will pop up asking you to enter the extension number that is needed for the phone. You can go ahead and press in the extension number, and then the enter key. It will prompt you for a password. You'll have to ask your phone system administrator to know what the login password for your phone is. If entered correctly, the phone should populate with an extension number. Thank you for watching.